Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have an 8v8 custom match here. Yes, you heard it right. It is a 16-player game here on the most amazing Roxas map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 on the northern side of the map, and one with Team 2 on the southern side of the map. Taking a look at Team 1's front line on the western side. First, we have in glow-in-the-dark green, matching those mexes, it is Salongdis. He's playing as a Cybran as a 1300. To his east in ruby red, it is the Seraphim of Small Member. He is a 1600 again as a Seraphim. In the middle-ish here for Team 1, we have in Imperial Gray, it is the Eldritch God himself. It is Cthulhu. He is a Seraphim. He is a 1500, and rounding out the front line in Emerald Green, it is Strike. He is a Seraphim as well. He is a 1900. Again, he is a Seraphim. To the northeast corner, we have in Batman Gray, it is Infinity X, or Infinity 10. He is a UEF. He is a 1200. To his west, we have in Rust, it is the Seraphim of Nomander. He is a 2600, the highest rated player on Team 1. And in the game overall by a decent margin, the second highest rated player in the game is actually on Team 1. It is Strike at 1900, so that's 700 points of rating separating the highest to the second highest in the game. To his west, we have in Regal Purple, it is Roger Stalker. He is a UEF. He is a 1300. And rounding out Team 1, we have in Orange Color Orange, it is Infro. Not Info. I probably will say his name is Info, so apologies ahead of time. He is a Cybran. He is a 1300. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 2 UEF. They have 2 Cybrans. They have 0 Aeon, which means they have, making my count, 4 Seraphim on Team 1. Taking a look at Team 2's front line on the western side, we have in Light Octan, it is the Aeon of Universal V. He is a 1500 again, as in Aeon. To his east in Royal Blue, we have the UEF of Death by Succubus. He is a 1700. To his east in Chevy Crimson, it is the UEF as well of Ray with very much no emotion faces dotted after his name. He is also a 1700. Again, as a UEF. And rounding out Team 2's front line, we have in Amethyst Purple, it is Blissful Noob. He is a Cybran. In, again, Amethyst Purple as a 1700. A lot of 1700s for Team 2. Moving on next to him, he is back in the southeast for his main base, but he's pretty close to Blissful Noob. It is Ross Boys 3. He's another Cybran. He is a 1300 in Stitch Blue. In Tropical Ocean Blue, we have Big Bang. Maybe he'll cause a Big Bang or go out at Big Bang. He is an 1800 as an Aeon. He is the highest rated player on Team 2. Next door to him, we have in Pac-Man Yellow, it is Gouache. I think is how you say his name. Probably butchered that. He is a UEF. He is a 1500. And rounding out Team 2, we have in Forest Green, the best color, of course, as an Aeon, it is Yonagi. He is a 1700. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 3 UEF for Team 2. And then they have 2 Cybrans, which means 3 Aeon because they have no Seraphim on Team 2. So Team 2 lacks Seraphim tech. Team 1 lacks Aeon tech in this 16-player game. And I think I did the math correctly. I probably did. Maybe I didn't. But anyways, taking a look at the reclaim before everybody scoops it all up. Currently sitting at 28,000 mass in reclaim for 16 players. Makes it close to 2,000 mass per player. There probably was some amount closer to that because we already see there's a 2,000 here for Team 1 on the northern side, and it's already at 1,500 here in the south. So maybe we'll say that there was 2K per player and just leave it at that because players are already scurrying around the map to get that reclaim. And, of course, as the reclaim has already been talked about, we'll talk about the additional mexes on the map. We'll take a look at Team's 1 side of the map this time. There is a Trimex position here. There's also a Trimex-ish position there. There's a Quad Mex position here, and then there's a Quad Mex position to the east. I already hear some skirmishes going on between the units of Team 1 and Team 2. And in the background, I don't think there's any other clumpage of mexes. I think it's just one-offs dotted between the main players' base. The map definitely is one of those maps that not necessarily convoluted, but it's kind of difficult to get, I'd say, from west to east side. There's a lot of hills, and there's plateaus, and there's actually just a lot of hilly environment, at least in this more midsection of the map. The eastern side's pretty flat. Western side's kind of in this really weird bowl, but it is flat once you get out of the nonsense. So the main nonsense essentially is this huge sea that I have, backward sea that we have here, and I'll talk about the map a little bit more after the introductions to the upgrades. For Team 2, we have Universal going for speed. We have Death going for gun, speed, and range. Sorry, damage and range. We have Team 1's Small Member going for his gun. He's trying to compensate maybe. And then we have gun started for Blissful Noob, and then gun started for Strike. I will note that Team 2's commanders are in the pond that are in front of Team 1's Strike. In terms of other map features, again, a couple of ponds that we see players can hide in. Pretty much, there will be probably corners of the map that will kind of be quote-unquote useless, but I think most of the map is either traversable or has some strategic value. I'd say that maybe these corners are probably the only thing that's going to be blank, but that's a small section, kind of similar in the southwest situation, northwest, besides the one mechs there. But it's not like a huge section of the map as we've seen in other games. We have gun started for Team 1's Cthulhu in the middle. Range started on board at Universal VSCOM. And Death is almost done with his gun upgrade. We see Blissful Noob done with his. And Ross might go for gun here shortly. We do see some movement outbound from him in terms of players divided around the map in terms of where they went. We have 3 for Team 1 over here, 2 for Team 2. Down the middle we have 2 to 3-ish. And Combi-Com action has occurred between Strike and Team 2's Blissful Noob. We do see Big Bangs hanging this way, so actually it's 3 versus 1. That's not going to help against, that's not going to be great for Team 1's Cthulhu. And then the eastern side we have Infinity X, so it is 3v2 in favor for Team 1. We have Nomander appearing with no gun, but trying to just take some shots. Blissful Noob actually going after Nomander here. Strike has his gun online. He's dropping into the yellow. Both these Cyber Commanders are going to fall back. Both of them are focusing on Nomander, the highest rated player in the game. And I will note the second highest rated player in the game is literally right next to him in the form of Strike. We do see gun start for Team 1 Shalongdus on the western side. And it looks like Team 2's Gonash is Gouache. I was going to say Gonache with an N, but it's Gouache, I think. Anyway, in the middle, just poking at Team 1. We do see possible more Combi-Com action between Ray and Gua. Actually, that's Team 2. Never mind. They're grouping up together to maybe assault the position for Team 1. There's a lot of players and a lot of things trying to figure out where which is why. So if you hear me just fumbling over my words constantly and talking way too fast, just going to try to cover all of the everything. I probably will split the map a little bit, or the screen up a little bit, so we can just cover things a little bit easier. We'll have this side be, of course, the western side, and this side be the eastern and western side. I know my directions, I promise. Gun started and done for Shalongdus. And it looks like we have Universal using that pawn just to hide a little bit of time. We do see to the west, to east of that, we have Small Member being hit by Death by Succubus's gun. We do see Small Member does have that gun on board, so it's gun v gun. Maybe we'll see an early death. It is 8 minutes on the clock. And Nomander Guncom online for Blissful Noob is what he's saying. We do see Big Bang over here to the west. Strike, poking and prodding at Blissful Noob. Probably going to watch out just in case, somebody ends up dying over here. There are 6 players now from Team 2 and Team 1 on the eastern side. And on the western side, we have 1v1, 1v1, and 1. So we have 5. So we have 11 of the 16 players on screen. I will note that we have some players who have not traversed the map. Roger Stalker is in his base. And for Team 2, we have Yonagi in his base. But I think that's everybody, because that's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yep, that's everybody accounted for. Gun started for info in the middle of these 2 engagements we see on that western half of the map. I think the action is pretty much died down. I can probably go back to the normal view. I would like to have a recall preset. That would be nice for like the mini map. Like, if I split the screen, it goes to here. And then if I end the split, it goes back to here. Just kind of a button to push instead of having to manually move it. But it's fine. I can do that. It's not a big deal. I just want to make sure I can see the reclaim number. We do see upgrades now started here for a lot of players on Team 1 and Team 2. Nano started for Small, and Stealth started for Info. We have Gun started for Ray. He's almost done with that. Regen Aura almost done for Cthulhu. We have Gun started for Ross. T2 started for Big Bang. Blissful is assisting him. He might go for Stealth after that. Infinity going for his T2 upgrade. Strike is done. Oh, and he's just gone for Gun. So he's had that Gun. And then actually Nomad went for T2 not Gun, which is a little interesting considering there are 3 players from Team 2 over here. We'll see what he's up to. Team 2 not putting a lot of pressure down the middle here against the 1 commander from Team 1. Might be a missed opportunity there. He is sending some forces, speaking of Ray, going this way to maybe go after Small, but we do see Team 2's death has fallen back, so realistically that's not going to be that great of an engagement because it's, again, very convoluted. They are trying to get out of Team 1's main army range, but there's constantly units supplying the western side, so I don't surmise that'll be that great, but you know, it might do a little bit of damage, which might help out. The reclaim gate, which both team were pretty close to one another. Team 1 barely leading. I think the Team 2 was leading. Yep, there they go. So it's kind of just a back and forth. Sensor package started for Team 2 on the eastern side for Big Bang, which means they can see everything nearby. We have a couple of these rocket bot hoplites nearby, just poking and prodding at Strike. No matter in the water, we have Team 1 torp launches being built by Big Bang. Might be a torp launcher race between the two, and I think, yep, he sees it and goes, okay, that's fine, I'll get out of the water, bye. Transport inbound with units inbound from Strike, being assisted by interceptors from Team 1's Infinity. Going to drop off some forces, probably the further back the better, but looks like they're going to go here. It has been spotted by Team 2, but I don't think it'll be countered in time, which would be a nice little raiding party for Team 1 on that eastern side. Gun for Shalongdis and a gun speed and range on board for Team 2's Universal. 11, almost 12 minutes on the clock. Map control, definitely just 50-50 for the most part. It's still the early game. A lot of players going back and forth. We have Infro going after some of these pillars from Team 2's Death by Succubus. And again, poking and prodding between those players. We see poking and prodding here. We have a nice little Corsair wipes out that facility for Death, which was going to get wiped out shortly anyways. But you know, maybe a little bit of urgency for that nice little Corsair. We do see Strike taking some damage from those missile. Well, actually, they're not technically missile. They are rockets, but is a missile just a rocket that travels a shorter distance? Maybe. Eastern side, we have Ross moving in after that nice little Ilshi. That is really trying to distract those forces. Looks like it was just taking a lot more damage than I initially thought, but no, there's no glitch. It was just, it looked like it was, but it was fine. TAC missile started on Nomando. He has gun now on board. And now we have a frontal assault inbound from Team 1's Cthulhu. He has that regen online. And we do see Ray has fallen back. He has T2 land online. We have Gouache has fallen back. We have advanced range started and done for Yunagi. He's going for shield. He's going for Aeon Sniper Commander mini tank right now at 12.5 minutes. Looks like he might go to the front line. Transport going to go pick him up. And we'll see where he ends up going to assist. Might want to keep track of that in case Team 1 spots that and shoots down the transport. Nano started for Shalongdis. He has Stealth already on board. And we have Nano online for Infro. He could easily assist Small member who is pushing back Death by Succubus. We have Team 2's Blissful Noob. Still no Stealth and Nano upgrade on board. I think definitely a missed opportunity there to get some hit points back. We have Missile inbound to kill off the T2 PD. Maybe it just doesn't want to deal with it. It is a Cerberus PD, so not a lot of damage, but hey, something's better than nothing. We have a little bit of a piercing attack inbound from Team 2's Blissful Noob just to distract, while some Ilshis are going to rip those things apart. We have Team 1's Cthulhu still pushing in, and it's gun only for Ray. He has a couple of flak cannons as well as a pillar or two. Doesn't have a lot of forces on the front line. This is not looking good for Team 2. Towards the middle of the map, Nano started for Team 2's Death by Succubus. And we have on the eastern side, we have a Nomander being the focus of attack from Blissful Noob. Missile inbound. Ooh, he sees it, I think, at the last second, but still gets hit by it. And he will fall back into the water. And that's not looking good. Infinity and Nomander are in range. Blissful Noob, it's not looking good. Hit points are going to fall and kill him off. First player of the game has been eliminated. And we have western side, lots of forces, Death by Succubus, and Small member getting into it. And Small member is losing a lot of hit points from these pillars. I think we might have a murder-suicide situation if Small member continues to push, which I think he might not have a choice anymore. 2,500 has now been reached for the goal. And it might be a murder-suicide. There it is. Murder-suicide between Team 1 small member and Team 2's Roger Stalker. And northwest of that, we have Yonagi gun shield. Sorry, I should say speed, advanced range, and shield online pushing against Infro. We have Ray and Cthulhu still going at it. And on the eastern side, we have Team 1 with 3 commanders, now only having to face one of them, being Big Bang. The other one from Ross has fallen back, heavily damaged, maybe got hit by a missile, but not looking good for him. Missile maybe tried to predict Big Bang's movements, but no. He's going to sit in the water here. I think he might just be stuck there for a little bit, going to build some Team 1 torp launchers. Gunships inbound to assist No Mander. That's not going to allow that torp launcher to be built. And now we have Yonagi being pushed back. He's lost all of his shielding. The Cerberus ripped him apart in terms of just tickling his shield off. And Infro continuing to walk down the commander. Not looking good. And Ray is defeated by Cthulhu. I knew I'd miss somebody at some point. 15 minutes on the clock. Team 2 loses. Ray, they're down 3 players. Team 1 only down 1 player. And we do see that transport did pick up. And it heavily damaged comm and heavily damaged transport of Yonagi and pulling him back. Now we have Shalongus and Universal getting into it. Not looking good for Universal. Team 1 PD being built to try to force the commander to fall back. Looks like they might get him to get out of there in time before Universal is plasma the death. We do see transport. Nope, that's a restorer moving in. And now Infro. Universal's dropped below almost 2K. We do see Infra's going to fall back. Could have maybe gone after the commander, but with through that Team 1 PD, maybe not. Eastern side, we have torp launchers being built by both players in the water now. And Team 2 really trying to hold this position and keep Team 1 back. Again, Team 2 is down 3 players to Team 1's 1. So it is a 7v5 in favor for Team 1 at 16 minutes. Eco situation, again, pretty much dead even for the most part. And we do see maybe a little bit of power outage for Team 1, but that looks like there's just be a small moment. And the consolidation of power has started to occur. We have Team 2's Big Bang on triple base, and then we have Team 1's, who is that? That is Infro on double base. We also see Team 2's Western player of Universal at double base with the, that was the base once belonging to Death by Succubus. Eastern side, Infinity still looks like you're getting hit by some hoplites, but nothing too crazy. He has gun in T2 at 3-star vet. Big Bang trying to get out of there. This might be his time to escape. We have hoplites. We have restores. We have Cerberus. If he can get to the shielding, that might be enough. But if he stays there too long, I don't think that's worth it. Strike pops out of the water. They're trading who he's getting shot at. No Mander takes some damage. Missile inbound. And the missile is shot down. That maybe could have gotten Big Bang, and that would have been a nice kill for Team 1's No Mander. But it wasn't to be the case. We have now Autumn's on the front line for Strike. Restore is being shot down. And Big Bang did get out of there barely, but he got out of there. It was nice assistance from Team 2's Ross with those hoplites to distract. Works his hardest to block Bang's comm from getting away. I don't know. I mean, that might have just been a mistake, just trying to essentially distract Team 1's forces. We do see Restorers having a nice little disagreement with that Ambassador from Team 1. Ambassador does drop a payload. Shield goes not down, and that might be a little bit... Oh, it almost killed off the Mantis with the crash damage. It barely missed. Western side Restorers going after Solongness. Solongness drops below 1,500. He gets out of there. The flak was starting to beat down Team 2's gunships, and they didn't go for the kill, which, again, given the fact this is an 8-player game where we're talking about skill ratings from 12 to 2,600, some players might be hesitant because that gives another base to somebody else. Maybe they don't want one side of the map getting super strong and then just steamrolling the other side. Or, like essentially Team 1 having, one player having 4 bases or 3 bases and just steamrolling this western side, or vice versa for Team 2 to Team 1. There might be maybe some hesitance, but I feel like they probably could have gotten some long this He gets underneath shield coverage. He's going to rep up. He's back up now to almost 5k hit points, so he should be fine for now. Missiles inbound from Team 1's info. And it looks like the calm deaths have definitely subsided, at least for a little bit. We are at 20 minutes almost on the clock. Team 1 and Team 2 have not crossed 1,000 mass yet per second, but they are well on their way to do so. Now repair started here for Strike in the water. And we do have Nomander back here just walking around. Does maybe not want to stay still possibly, but he could just sit in the water. We do have some T2 PD ripping apart all of the engineers trying to get reclaim. Speaking of reclaim, Team 1 and Team 2. Team 1's at 54, Team 2's at 47. So a little bit in favor for Team 1, but not by much. I thought I'd just have another strat bomber, and yes, another strat bomber, and it is immediately shot down. We do see Team 1 will get that wreck at least. It was going this way, so the inertia kept it going that way. We do see Restores going after Cthulhu, and I don't know if the ASFs from Team 1 will be able to respond in time, and that is going to be a kill for Team 2. He just kind of got left out to dry almost, and there come the ASFs from Team 1 to assist. Maybe maybe he could have walked into the pond here, maybe? I mean, he was kind of close to it, but he was losing hit points pretty quickly. At least it's full share, says Cthulhu. Active just told us it's off, says Ray. They are going to win this by air, says Small. We have Benny Sabotage the Clan. There's a lot of communication in chat between the two teams. We do see Roger going for T3. Air grid being expanded not only for Team 1's Roger, but also primarily for Nomander. That's a T3 land facility. Any other air facilities for Team 1? There is an air facility on the western side for Infro. And then Team 2, we have air and nuke online for Team 2, pulling out the big guns. At 20 minutes, we already see a nuke launcher. That is pretty early. T3 air, and that's T3 land. So 3 T3 air facilities for Team 2 and 3 for Team 1. So about dead even race there. We do see T3 started on board Infro's comm. And eastern side, we do see Nomander and Strike starting to fall back a little bit. Again, with the death of 4 players before 20 minutes, it is unfortunate, but it does happen, especially in an 8v8. It was going to happen in a land map like this. So out of the 16 that started, 12 remain. And it's 1.1 to 1,000 mass in favor for Team 1. Lots of flak and lots of momentum for Team 1 on this western side. Not looking too good for Team 2. Not a lot of forces on the ground for either base. Of course, back here we have Yonagi. He does have now ARAS on board. He's traded out his shield for the ARAS. And Nuke is loading very, very fast. Or trying to be loaded very, very fast. There's a lot of flak here. There's actually not a lot of ground-to-ground fire. Of course, the air units, or the anti-air units for Team... Oh, no, those aren't Cybran. Some of them are Seraphim, some of them are Cybran. So only the Cybran ones can target ground units. The Seraphim ones cannot. I thought those were all Cybran for a second. I was going to say, that's still a lot of damage downrange, but honestly, it's not. You have a lot of ISLs. You have a lot of the Al-Shavo T2 flags. I thought I saw a couple of... There's a couple of Mantis mixed in there, so maybe not a lot of Cybran at all. A lot of people love Restorers, but I hate them so much. Sad time, says Blissful. We have a mobile artillery bombarding Universal's base. He got hit by one. That's gotta hurt. And looks like he might be the target of that artillery specifically. And eastern side, definitely a thinning out of the everything, at least right here. But Team 1 has their side, Team 2 has their side, and they might just keep it at that for the foreseeable future. We do see a little bit of pushback now with the death of Cthulhu down the middle, after the death of Array as well. We have Team 1 Small continuing to circle forces and say, go here. And yeah, that is an idea if they were all Team 1 labs or tanks or whatever, but it's a lot of AA, and you could send the AA in the base and they could just sit here, but it's not really going to do anything unless it was Cybran, then it could do something. But that's just a feature of Cybran technology and not a feature of anybody else. Universal back up into the green, still running around, just trying not to get hit by artillery. And now we have Big Bang starting to move his forces this way. We do see he took out that quad mix position there. He has a nice little brick running around. He's going to get bombarded by Team 1 bombers. We've seen what Team 1 bombers can do. So Do not underestimate them. Nuke for Team 2's. Yonagi is almost loaded. It's going to fire immediately and go for Team 1's Nomander's base. We do see SMD has been built, not loaded yet. Is there any other SMD in the area? No. So that will be a win for Team 2. They'll wipe out the main base for Nomander and his air headquarters and all the everything nearby. That's going to be a huge win for Team 2 economically and air-wise. And Air Forces, it's primarily Team 2's Goash who's building them. And there's that nuke. Unless it changed course, which it did not. Yep, that is going to land. SMD will not land. Or sorry, not load. In time Restorers kind of get wiped out there. But ASFs come in to wipe out the ASFs, which she's tried to. Looks like that's going to be a nice little air win for Team 2 as well. Leaving just pretty much those ASFs remaining. Team 1 not locked out of air as of yet. But the main base, I would say, for air for Team 1 is Nomanders, and that's not going to be great for him. We do see Restorers moving into a lot of flak-infested forces from Team 1. And there's a lot of Team 1 AA, to be fair, but, I mean, they're not designed for air-to-ground, but they are doing some work. Nomander's probably glad he's not in his base. He's sending his engineers all over the place to get out of range, but boom! One mass storage survives. Everything else is gone. Secondary air grid was already under construction, so power should be fixed here shortly for Nomander. But, ooh, yeah, that's going to hurt. That's 5 mexes down. Team 2 now up to 1.4 to 1.2, so 150 in favor now with the death of Nomander's base. He still has mass in the way of this base. It looks like it got gifted over from Infro. And this base, so Team 1's Info just gave everything pretty much over to him to rebuild that air grid. So, Info takes a hit, but Nomander gets the mass, and he can rebuild that air grid pretty quickly. Yonagi built an experimental GC that's now online. I believe that's the first one of the game. Not nukes, but strats are inbound for the nuke. 1, 2, and 3. Shield not enough firepower from Team 1 to knock it out. They needed technically 3 more. Well, 1. It would have been 4 to knock out the shield, and then 2 more to knock out the nuke launcher itself. So they had 3. They needed double that. A little bit of some annoyances from Team 2 on this eastern front from Big Bang. And, I didn't mention that with the death of Cthulhu, it's now a 6v5 in favor of Team 1 still. We do see on the western side, Monkey Lord now newly minted for Team 1's Shalongdus, who is falling back to his other facility on the front line. Maybe I wouldn't say front line, but back line, I guess, at this point. Team 1's front line is actually here, which is actually on Team 2's side of the map. So Team 1, map control-wise, is leading it by a little bit. Not a lot, but they did take 2 of Team 2's Trimex positions on the front line. So they're definitely not happy about that. T3 Mix is rebuilt here for Nomander. He's now up to 575 mass income with quad base. Because you're accounting for this base, this base, this base, and this base. A quad base here for Team 1's Nomander. Nuke is almost half loaded. Looks like focusing on mass FAF farms, just trying to scale that eco a little bit for Team 2. And on the eastern side, more bricks. Looks like inbound. And some of them do get past. A lot more than I thought, but there is kind of not really a lot going on over there. Sniper bot slowly whittling those bricks down, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue for Team 1, but it might be annoying. We do see some bricks and actually Percy's and Autumn's inbound and a Ravager built, so that should be more than enough. They're going conga style, so it should be more than enough. ACU pinned by Cthulhu saying, hey, that's where he is. He's back up into the green. He's not down very, very low in the reds, so he's probably happy about that. And he's getting, of course, some vision. It's on Team 2's side of the map, but hey, it's nice to just have, visual contact on something portion of the map. Given the size and the amount of players on the map, it's not a full 20 by 20. I'd say it's about an 18 to 19 or so. But there's a lot of map to cover, and speaking of that, Team 2, this is what they can see about Team 1's side of the map. Lots of pinging of the everything. They know where Nomander's comm is. They mentioned SMD and all of that, so just give the other players on Team 2 awareness. Team 1, not as many pings, but there's still some pins going down. Broadswords looks like pinned by somebody on Team 1. This is what they know about Team 2 side of the map. And we do see that GC is thinking about it, thinking about moving around. He's back and forth about it. We do see assisting Harbingers. Probably gift either Harbingers over, but most likely the GC over to Universal just to micro that, because the land forces micro the land forces and the air forces micro the air forces for the most part. I feel like would be the easier way to divvy that up. Tactical nuke done for Roger Stalker in his base. He's getting an SMD online, and it's already loaded. And he's doing the UEF thing, which is building a satellite. 28 minutes on the clock. He barely started that. ARAS started an onboard Nomander's comm. And another SMD here for Team 1. So SMD, I would assume SMD shortly. We do see one here, one here, one here. That's pretty comprehensive range to cover Nomander's base. I just would like to see one more built, at least in the base for coverage. But he does have pretty good coverage for his base. And we do see no SMD. There is an SMD and a nuke. SMD being loaded first, then the nuke. Definitely a smart way to do that, because the last thing you want to do is load the nuke or almost load the nuke. Team 2 nukes your nuke, and there goes your nuke, and it's not a fun day for you. So definitely a smart plan there. And it's actually Team 1's info built it. The only thing handed over to him, or maybe Nomander built it, and then maybe he'll assist the nuke loading just to spend some of that mass. In terms of mass, he has a smidgen in his bar, but not enough to really load it pretty quickly. You do see that nuke in the south is reloaded and going to fire immediately, and it's going to go for Shalong. This is frontline position. Monkey Lord is there. There's a decent amount of infrastructure. There's a PGen there, stealth field generator, whatnot. But it's really not that mission critical. It is going to hurt, though, at a bare minimum. So that's going to be unfortunate for him. And that nuke launcher has already killed off 58,000 mass, and it's probably going to get up to maybe the 90s, so at least 32,000 mass killed. If it gets the Monkey Lord, it definitely will get there, but we'll see. Monkey Lord is the only thing that moves, and that might be the only thing that survives, to be honest. There's the nuke. Kaboom! Mechs killed off. A couple of mechs remain. Monkey Lord is fine. And the nuke now up to... Actually, it got up to 111, so a lot more than I thought. So definitely really good nukes from Team 2's Yonagi, first and second, averaging at about 55,000. So really, really good ones there. We do see some gunships spotted. ASFs just sitting on the ground. Looks like they're going to intercept now. And the gunships go, oh, he probably shouldn't have gone. And they're going to get shot down for the troubles. Monkey Lord going this way, trying to avoid the Monkey Lord. Sorry, Monkey Lord, the GC from Team 2. And now it's going that way. And that is the one nice thing about the spaghetti nonsense in the middle of the map, is there's a lot of avenues to get, places and go which, where, and whatnot. So there's a lot of ways to get in and also get out, which is nice but also annoying at the same time. And we have air staging facilities here for Nomander in the corner, just to refuel, rearm, and resupply his air units. We do see Team 2 split their air forces primarily between Yonagi and Gouache in terms of the ASF. Same thing with the gunships. We see mainly spy planes for Big Bang. He might be handing his ASF off to somebody, which is entirely possible. He is... What is he? He is a U... Actually, he's Aeon. He might be handing them off to Yonagi, maybe. And a couple of Harbingers not having a fun time against that Monkey Lord, that's for sure. And the column of info surrounded by engineers, maybe laser, maybe cloaking here for him shortly. We'll see. We have Shalong this way out of the way of his base. And Nuke is loaded for Team 1. Oh, did it have a target? I thought I had a target in mind. I would have watched it expand and fire the nuke, which I do like to watch, but it did not do that. Watch, now that I'm talking about whatever going on over here, the nuke's going to launch. I'm going to be a little sad. Then I missed that. The chicken, not short enough to hide in the water, but the PD base does not have enough to defend itself, especially with the Autumn assistance, so that front line will be gone for all of the MLT. When I said I wasn't playing, again, there's a lot of chat going down, so not going to be able to keep up with all of it. The chicken actually taking a lot of damage from the PD. The chicken trying to dodge as many shots as possible, but it will have sacrificed itself in favor of the Autumns that will probably steamroll the rest of this fire base position. And I feel like the chicken could have just sat in here and wiped out even more. Nuke is outbound from Team 1. Where is it going? It's going for Team 2's frontline base here. For Team 2's Universal, that's one of his two bases. We have two GCs online for Yonagi going after the one Monkey Lord. Two lasers versus one doesn't help out. Monkey Lord is down. over there as well. So 2 molecular is going to be down here shortly. Reclaim, that will probably be reclaimed by Team 2. That might get reclaimed by Team 2, but probably Team 1. And that nuke is inbound, and we'll look at it shortly. The frontline base is gone. The chicken will be reclaimed by Team 1, I would presume, shortly. But here comes the nuke. Omni's going to go down. That's going to hurt. The actual broadswords over here should be fine, but boom! There goes the base. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mexes down. Team 2 should drop to maybe 1.9k eco. And Universal does drop to 129. Oh, maybe they're still at 2k, but I think there was all T3 mexes there. I could have been wrong, but looked like there was. We do see a couple of Harbingers just poking and prodding at stuff from info. The GCs are really the main attraction for the Western Front, and it has been a while since we've had a kill. I say that, and then someone's going to die within 2 minutes or something. I apologize ahead of time. I didn't mean to cast a curse you, but we just haven't had a death in a few minutes. Team 2, 2k mass. Team 1, 1.7 mass, so in favor for Team 2 by at least 200 or so. Team 1 still at 6 players left. Team 2 at 5 players left, so favor goes to them. I will note that Nomander does have 4 bases under his control, so he has a lot of eco, 750, the most in the game, with Big Bang behind him at 620. And Team 1 has a satellite, Team 2 has a nuke, and Team 1 also has a nuke. So let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I really, really, really do appreciate it. In the northeast, we see T3 started here for Infinity. He's going for his own satellite. So UEF number 2 is doing UEF things. More shielding being built by Nomander to protect his very, very much decentralized air grid. Where is his... Oh, it's over here. I was going to say, where's his T3 air headquarters? But it's nowhere there. It's right there, which is definitely a way to say, no, you're not coming close to it. Billy Nuke Teleporter is soon to come online for Roger Stalker. He's finished... Oh, he's finished that one. He's starting the second satellite, so soon to be 3 satellites for Team 1. For Team 2, you're planning anything big and surprising. Satellite shielding being built to just deter the satellite from going after them. Nuke being built by Gouache. That's really about... Oh, is that a satellite? No, that's a pigeon. Yeah, that's really about it for Team 2. They have that nuke, and that's really about it. With Team 1 getting a little bit more in the longer range tech online. We do see cloaking started for info. He has laser on board, so we have cloaking laser for Team 1, and then Billy Nuke Teleporter, which is Telebilly, which is very, very dangerous. If there's shielding online, not as much. But if there isn't shielding, oof, not a fun day for wherever that lands. We do see a couple of gunships starting to poke at a couple of mexes and forces, but maybe trying to go Team 1 and do an attack. We do see all of the ASFs pretty much handed over to Big Bang. And he's going to go for it. Team 1's Nomander might go for it. Oh, that's a better engagement for Team 1. Oh, you got to turn around. There's the fight. Gets a little bit of an easier engagement for a minute there for Nomander, but that's going to be a win. Gunships are inbound, and Team 1 went, oh, no. Go get him. And Broadsword's going after Strike's commander. We have some flak nearby. ASFs are coming in for the rescue, and they will wipe out a chunk of them. They kept flying north. The ASFs actually were flying with them, and Infro was defeated by Yonagi. Looks like he did not get the cloaking online soon enough, and those gunships have been dealt with. Air fight, pretty much a draw between the 2 players, and a land attack is inbound for that fire base for Team 1. So that is now going to be history. There's a Fat Boy and another chicken online for Team 1. Sorry, that's for Team 1 has the chicken and the Fat Boy. Team 2 has just the T3 forces. Nuke inbound for the 2 GCs. And then Nuke lands from Team 2. Kaboom! Wipes out that base there, and they can move forward and start claiming that. There is still stuff from Team 1 here, but it's really only engineers. But that nuke has been pretty well timed. It does clip the first GC. The second GC does also get clipped. One's at 2 stars, one's at 2 stars. They did take significant damage, but they're not dead, which is still a problem for Team 1, but at least a lot of the HP is gone. Someone take these mexes, says Ray, talking about the base that once belonged to Universal. We have dead mexes for both teams at this point, but mainly Team 2 has the, I think, majority of the dead mexes on their side. And now another player is dead for Team 1, drops this game to a 5v5. I will note that Infro was not necessarily out of the game, but he gifted all of his stuff over to Nomander anyways. So, I mean, he was still in it, but he didn't have a main base. He had a T3 land headquarters, and that's pretty much about it. Didn't have a whole lot. We do see a couple of strats just hanging out over here to the northwest. Unagi finishes probably another GC, and it is Nuke for him. 151,000, so the average is about 50k. Still really, really good nukes from Team 2. Team 1's nuke launcher, 76,000 for that first nuke. Did very well for itself. Interesting shape there. But we have a brick wall, or actually maybe 2 brick walls, trying to catch up to that Fat Boy ice cream sandwich. We have a nice little host or 2 of, an order of 2 of some Optims over here to the west. And that Megalith is getting bombarded by Team 1's Fat Boy. And that Fat Boy is continuing to fall back, so it should eventually go out of range. But now we have the GCs being surrounded by gunships and some strats. And now a Monkey Lord. And that would probably be enough to kill off the first and second GC. Monkey Lord will probably get... No, actually, it will not get enough veterancy to kill off the second GC in time. The gunships will be enough, though. And the crash damage might actually do it, and I think it did. I think the crash damage killed off that Monkey Lord, but it doesn't matter because that GC is still dead. Yep. Almost saved, but almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Team 2, what are you up to in the background? Another crab. More shielding. Another GC, more P-gens it looks like. The satellite's focusing looks like on Big Bangs. Mexes now. We have a bug online for Team 2's Big Bang. Don't like the bug, but it does have its uses. Team 1's air grid pretty much all shielded up. Satellite online. And more, what? Oh, ooh. I was going to say, I think I see, was it 4 YOLOs or 3 YOLOs? And it's actually 1 YOLO. And it's not in the yellow yet, but it's already at 10%. We do see the GC not moving in to kill off the nuke, and that's partly because it's just heavily damaged, and that'd be essentially gifting mass to somebody. But there is a Monkey Lord, so that would deter them anyways. But we do see Shalongdis is pretty much out of the fight. He doesn't really have much remaining. He has some AA facilities and a couple of mexes, but that's going to be slowly dealt with, so he's going to be knocked out. He's still in it, so I'll still say 5v5, but realistically, it's a 4v5 in favor for Team 2. Eastern side, now we have 2 chickens and a Fat Boy instead of 1 chicken and a Fat Boy. They're starting to multiply. They're like rabbits. And it looks like now Brass Boss's base is the one that's being targeted. But again, there's no real big... Okay, well, I say something, and it's shall appear. Gouache going for the biggest of the big experimental game enders in the game, and that is the Mavor, and that's definitely contradicting some things that were already mentioned earlier about well, things I think people can read between the lines there. And when you have a name like that, I don't know if you're just trying to be funny or whatnot, which you're probably just trying to be funny, but you know, anyway, there's jokes that can be made, and people have already come up with better jokes than me, and I'll probably leave it at that and call it a day. 39 minutes in the replay. We do see... Oh, it's back online. That was very jarring, but... ooh. We have... Okay, so we have a Salvation coming online for Team 2. Again, I like the Salvation. It's not a bad artillery piece, but I always feel like it's not as singularly impactful as it could be with the Paragon that it's usually paired with. Gunships are inbound T3 and the T4 variety. ASF's acting as a nice little buffer zone. Looks like maybe Infinity is the target. They're going to target the satellite from Infinity, so no more satellite for him. And I will note that the gunships can get underneath the shielding as shown, so that's not great. Bug will be killed off soon. It's close to death, but it's not dead yet. Infinity might be the target. The Bug going to turn around and just crash almost right on top of the comm. I don't know if that was intended or not, but it was almost there. We do see Infinity taking a lot of damage from those broadswords, and I think he might get killed off here. 5,000, 4,000, 3,000, 2,000, 1,000, and there he goes. Team 1 loses another player, and it's now a 4v5 game in favor for Team 2 for the first time in the game. And that Novax was killed off. The comm was killed off. Some of the base took some damage, but again, the Novax was the big thing, just not having to deal with 3 satellites instead of 2, which actually scratch that. They still had to deal with 3 because Team 1's Roger Stalker still has 3, or now has 3. They had to deal with 4. They cut 25% off. That's not too bad. We have 1, 2, 3. Ooh, that's 4 GCs inbound on the western side. That one is heavily damaged. It's actually at 5-star vet, so it will regen pretty quickly, but better than its compatriots at 10 mass a second. With a Fat Boy backing them up on the western side, so 3 plus a little bit of GCs and a Fat Boy. Michaelud was easily dealt with, and there's really not a lot on the front lines for Team 1 on that western front. We see Solongdish trying to maybe try to get back in the game, but maybe not. You have some engineers getting reclaimed, but maybe try to rebuild some T3 mexes, but it'll be a while before he's really back in the game, if at all. Win condition here says Blissful Noob. He's probably talking about the GCs walking around, and that could be the way to win the game and just steamroll that. And he's saying, look, you can either go this way, or this way. I think that's actually Team 1's markings. And honestly, this way probably isn't the best. There's a lot of gunships sitting here, so that's probably the least viable option. This way, the Novaxes are there, so you might want to eliminate that. And there is the nuke from Team 1 over here, so you probably want to get rid of that. So there's definitely kind of this is the third option. I'd say maybe this is the first one, and then this is the second one. Wipe out the entire western half, even maybe try to get maybe this base as a nice little constellation prize, and then just push this way and kind of enclose Team 1 in this corner. But explosion in the south. Gouache killed off by satellites from Team 1's Roger Stalker. And the nuke is inbound. It's going to blow up the rest of this base, it looks like. Which, I mean, there's not really much there. But there is some reclaim that they're going to deny. Kaboom! There really wasn't much remaining there anyways. But, it's nice to just say no more rebuilding for Team 1. But that is now a 4v4 tied-up game once again for Team 1 and Team 2. Another nuke inbound. And it's going where exactly? It's going south. It's going here. We have another nuke inbound from Team 1's northeastern side. The YOLO is done. That's a very quick YOLO and a lot of shielding. That is nice to see from both cases. Nuke is not going to be loaded in time, but at least he fired off the one that he had before it got blown up. And it's going to overwhelm maybe the defenses for Team 2. There is an SMD. There is 3 loaded. There also is an SMD here that has 1 loaded there. But YOLO might be able to escape by that one. Gunships wiping out the nuke and everything else. We have Shalongness. He's not going to make it home or make it anywhere safe. He's going to be killed off here shortly. 10,000 hit points and falling. He was at 5-star vet, so he definitely got a lot of kills with the comm. And we have this base being wiped out for Nomander. There goes Shalongness, 3,000 hit points and falling. SMD shoots down the YOLO. There it goes. Team 1's Shalongness is eliminated. Nomander's YOLO is eliminated, but of course, Salvation has been spotted. It's probably been spotted for a while. Shots are inbound. Team 2 does not have enough SMDs remaining, or at least SMDs loaded remaining, which means that YOLO is going to land. Team 2 needs to inflict as much damage as possible to slow down Nomander, because that YOLO is being fired very quickly. Essentially, it's being fired roughly before it lands. This one's already there. And Yonagi's not getting out of there anytime soon. Salvation got a couple of shots off. That's about it, though. And unfortunately, it's not going to be enough to kill off that YOLO. And kaboom! There goes the comm. There goes the Salvation. There goes the everything else in that base. And Yonagi is defeated by Nomander. And YOLO's just going to wipe out all of the everything else that could just come say hi, which it's not going to. Gunship's not moving in just yet. Looks like Team 1 still commenting that he could go that way. ASF's stacking up and moving to intercept. And again, the shielding did take some hits, but there's a decent amount of shielding here, and there's also some engineers assisting the main one there. So it really wasn't going to be enough. And you needed a Salvation, you needed a Mavor, which they were being built. Ooh, 1, 2, and 3 were fired for that. That's unfortunate. Maybe even 4. As you saw, one circling it, shot it down, and 2 more were fired. So maybe they got 4 with that YOLO. That's not great for Team 2. 2 bugs are inbound. 1 satellite is down. Roger Stalker will kill off one of them with the assistance of the ASFs. And Bugs, nope, is down as well. Lost a lot of hit points very quickly. And Roger Stalker might die here. Second Novax is down, so he has 1 more remaining. He also has his own nuke. And YOLO lands right behind the GCs. Will it clip the GCs in time, or did it clip them in time to kill off a lot of the gunships, to be honest? And the answer to that question is no, it did not. And the GC still walking. It is slow because of U2 says small, so it looks like there's some annoyances with that. SMD is going to go down, but Team 2's only nuke was over here, and that's gone. Mavor has been ignored. It was almost half done. And Nuke is inbound. Watching this game has made my head hurt. I don't get it. How people out of the units says death by succubus for so long. Units continuing to move. Chicken in behind that one. The Novax was ignored. I feel like that's a missed opportunity there. Could have wiped out all 3 Novaxes. Now we have 2 chickens surrounding those other 2 GCs. 1 down, 1 remaining. Another GC inbound. Fat Boy also inbound, but Team 1 probably has that handled at this point. There's really not a lot that way. We do see Team 2 moving in this way. We have 1 Fat Boy trying to defend against a grab. Eventually that will favor Team 1, but for now the hit points favor Team 2. And that chicken is almost done, which that will definitely help. And now essentially we have 3 versus 3 now at 46 minutes. It is Nomander, Roger Stalker, and Strike versus Team 2's Big Bang Ross and Universal. Satellite wiping out a couple of mixes down there. Eastern side, SMB being heavily spammed up. And we have a Fat Boy that's going to get eaten alive by T2 gunships and T1 bombers. And the last GC is down. So they did wipe out a base and another base, but strategic launch detected. The problem is that Team 1's eco, at least Nomad's eco, is heavily focused on just the YOLO. The only thing he did was build up Team 1 spam gunships, T2 gunships and Team 1 bombers, and he's only focused on loading and firing that YOLO. Team 2 is trying to prep defenses now. We see SMD lines being built here. SMD lines here. And yes, it is nice to have a bunch of SMDs just passively loading. The problem is having too many is also a problem, because it costs 1,500 power and negative 15, or it costs 15 mass to... Now look at that. His power is being drained. If he runs out of power, that means those SMDs are going to slow down their loading, and it's not really going to be worth it. Okay, looks like maybe he's positive. But this group, that's gone. Kaboom! Look at that. It immediately helps his power situation, which is unfortunate for the SMD side of things, but it does help his power, so silver linings and all that. Another YOLO is outbound. Nomander's loading that thing and firing that thing very quickly. Dead mixes everywhere. We see some maybe cobbling, some reclaiming going down from Team 1. In terms of total reclaim, 248 for Team 2, almost 500,000 for Team 1. And I will note the eco is double for Team 2. And that SMD is not loaded. That YOLO, it was continuing to be built, but it is way too late, because those SMDs are no longer loaded, and all of that goes up in flames. You clearly need second YOLO. Nomander says Shalongdis. Clearly, SMD was just newly minted, but way too late on that. And there goes the Mavor, the overcompensator himself, and kaboom! Didn't wipe out everything, but it wiped out a huge amount of stuff for Team 2. Maybe the Mavor would have been enough, maybe, but he does have a lot of shielding. I don't know. As fast as he's firing those things, it might just come down to Team 2 might just not have enough SMDs. Another YOLO inbound that could have already been pre-fired. And it's going to wipe out a couple more SACUs, though, so hey, there's that. Not as useful, that one, but it was one of those. If that one didn't land, the one before it, that one would have been it. In terms of mass killed by the YOLO, 844,000. We're going to close on almost 1 million mass maybe by the end of the game if the YOLO continues to exist. Strap bomber starting to stack up for Team 2's Big Bang. Yeah, I think the main problem, the time I'm playing, I'm very tired. Almost 4 a.m. I'll go to sleep soon, but you're right, of course. Yeah, again, I don't understand why people are playing at 4 a.m. That is insane. Like, I can barely wake up at 7 and just fall into the shower and just wake up from the hot water. But 4 a.m., I guess that's more waking up versus staying up. But still, 4 a.m. is still insane, regardless if you wake up to play or you fall asleep right after. That's just insane. Yeah, I was half ready when I died. Yeah, and I think earlier would have been better. He did pause it to build those SMDs, which is fair because you needed to deal with the YOLO, but I think it's just coming down to Team 2 didn't just pivot harder sooner. I mean, they didn't have a salvation. They went for a nuke very, very early, but kaboom! But it just didn't have enough SMD coverage, and that's the problem. Either they went for it too early, not too early, they went for it early, and that's a control K. Yeah, that's control K from Universal. Now it's a 2 to 3 player game. Team 2 has Ross and Big Bang remaining. GG well played says Goash. Goash? It's Gula. It's not Gulaj. It's not. I still don't know how to pronounce that name. But more pigeons and mass traps going down. Kaboom! It's just wiping out Eco. Team 2 dropping now to 2.2. We have 1, 2, 3 fat boys, 1, 2 chickens, 2 chickens over there. So 4 chickens. Another YOLO, another chicken. That's 5 chickens. We have tons of T1 bombers wiping out the everything over here. We have another chicken over there because why not, with a lot of shielding and a couple of optims. Team 1 is looking like the de facto winner of this game. And that YOLO pivot was hard, fast, and devastating for Team 2. Another SMD battery. Still fine for now, but not great. Salvation. Scathis. Looks like it needs more power before they continue, but it's almost at 25%. Your plan is Scathis. Yeah, not a great idea with a shield grid like that. That's not going to work. It just isn't. You need a YOLO. You need something else. Team 1, honestly, doesn't have that many SMDs. They have this one, and they have that one. That is it. Oh, actually, sorry, and this one. So they have 1, 2, 3. That one's not loaded. This one is 5. This one is 8. So if they went for YOLO, Team 1 probably would have seen it by now. To be fair, they already seen the Scathis probably by now, which someone just made a comment about it. But maybe that would slow down a little bit of the rate of fire for that YOLO, because Team 1 would be pivoting for SMDs. But I don't know if it's too late or not. It could be too late. Scathis now at 25% in climbing. We have 4 or 5 chickens inbound. Add SMD's going to die. We have a megalith. That'll help with a lot of bricks inbound, both from this direction and that direction. A couple of brick walls inbound. Strap bombers are inbound. That's going to help out a ton. 3,000 damage per bomber. And they don't drop a payload? Where are they going? What are you... oh, they're going for Fat Boy. Okay, I was wondering what they were doing. ASAP's going to wipe them out. And they don't wipe out the Fat Boy. So that's unfortunate for them. And another YOLO's inbound. It's going to be constant YOLOing from Team 1. Unless some miracle happens. Telemazer nonsense. Oh, that's not going to work. Team 1 and T2PD is firmly in place. And AA. And Stealth Field. I would like to see maybe a couple more shielding here. But, I mean, it's very good. It's heavily concentrated engineers. So you can really spam things up. Well, you got a plan for the land, says Ross. Hey, that chicken's down. That chicken's gonna die, and those 2 chickens are dead. There's 1 megalith. There's that chicken's gonna die. That chicken's gonna die. So all the experimentals are dead, and there is a desync. I did know about this, but I felt that at this point in the game, there really wasn't a lot lagging in network stats. Says Nomander. Oh. Death by Succubus. Bombers wiping out all the mexes and whatnot over here. There's some passive AA, of course, but I mean, again, Team 2 is really focused now on this side. They're somewhat forgetting here. There is a Novax online, so maybe not completely forgetting stuff, but again, it's just going to be the slow erosion from west to east. And another YOLO is inbound. 1 and 2, just barely, and 3. They got a third one out of that one. Another YOLO's inbound. That one is depleted. This one has 3 left. We're going to get some loaded in here shortly, but it is not looking good. I guess you could have tell that GC. It says Nomander. Yeah, maybe that would have worked. Maybe. I mean, it would have been there would have been a lot of damage from the PD or whatnot, but that could have been an opportunity to go that way. Advance now started for strike. 53 minutes on the clock. Sacrifice was unchained. All fixed. It was fixed for vet requirements for preset SACU.
Strategic launch detected.
Looks like there was maybe an issue and they fixed it. Don't know how that affected that per se, but probably somebody in chat knows, or sorry, chat in the description knows, which I guess is the same thing, that knows the exact details of that. I know there was a forced update. You have to update to be able to actually play the game recently, so, or to launch the actual, just launch it to begin with. So it could have been a part of that, which I don't know how old. It's not super old, I think, this replay. So maybe it could have been right after that or right before that, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, another YOLO inbound. Team 2, SMD, 1 loaded, 2 loaded, maybe, yep, 2 fires. Again, they're hanging on, but again, they've been boxed in for the most part, and I just don't know if they have enough, which I don't think they do. And the chicken dies in the SMD battery, which is definitely not where you want it to be. And there's 3 fat boys. They're just shelling that Megawatt. Megawatt is down, so Team 2 is out of experimentals. I mean, there's not much left. Fire says along this, so maybe No Man was distracted by something. 1 satellite's not going to be enough. Oh, do not do the thing. Oh, he didn't do the thing. Okay, it didn't hit the YOLO. That probably was patched out, to be honest. That game was wild that I casted, where the satellite could act as essentially a target, not a target, but a object that the nuke could hit, and then just blew up. Nuts. That game was nuts. And a couple more nukes I think might be enough to wipe out the remaining SMD contingent. Yep, there goes another set down. 3 fat boys wiping out the rest of those SMDs to the west. Granted, those aren't even being affected anyways. SF going to wipe them out. And we have a bunch of Nathas sitting above Team 2's stuff, just hanging out. Scathis is done. Shield is starting to fall. And Shield come back online. Corsairs are inbound. Looks like they wanted to maybe snipe it with a Corsair run. Oh, sorry, Natha run. But they didn't actually target anything. But I guess it doesn't matter because the YOLO came in anyways. And there goes Team 2's Ross's base. Does he get clipped in the explosion? He did get hit by some of it, but I don't think he died from it. And those blow up. No, he didn't actually die from it. Another nuke inbound. One of these is probably going to kill him. And there goes the YOLO. Let's see if it does kill him at that range. There'll be the initial wave of damage, and then there'll be the secondary wave if he's outside. Let's see. No, he's still good, I guess. That second nuke will be enough, though. Let's see. Oh, there's one from that direction. Did he build a second? Oh, no, that's a regular nuke, I think. That's a regular nuke from Team 1. Yeah, that's the UEF one. There's another YOLO to the same spot. Ross says GG. Looks like he might actually... Oh, his shields are down above him, so that might be enough to kill him, maybe. Yep, there he goes. Gets killed off by Team 1's Nomander, leaving just Big Bang remaining. 56 minutes on the clock. And it looks like that might just be the end of the game. Hi again, Guile says the longest. There's Big Bang's Control K, and that is the game. I'm not Guile, but I do. At least, the game was casted. So 56 minutes, 38 seconds on the clock. Team 1 wins the game heavily by Nomander. That YOLO hard pivot was crucial. It just went... it went left to right technically, but it wiped out this base and then went for the Mavor here, went after a couple of other things intermediary, and then eventually wiped out this. And that was it. We did see the fat boys were going to start crushing the base anyways, and that was partly the reason why I felt that this game, yes, the desync is unfortunate, but at the point that it happened, it's not, the game could have gone either way because this thing was online and this thing was online. There was nothing really online at that point. Yes, the Scathis got built, but it got immediately killed off. Even if it did fire a volley too, it wouldn't have mattered. So And like I said, that's kind of why I felt that this game was viable for casting. But again, thank you so much for watching to the very end of the video. MVP, I mean, it goes to Nomander because that YOLO pretty much won the game for Team 1. And let me know down in the comments what you felt about my casting, the replay, and all the everything. And I will see all of you in the next one.